Okay, today we are going to continue learning about the executive branch of the federal government. We're going to take a look at the qualifications and terms a person must have to become president. Let's first look at the qualifications. There are only three qualifications a person must have to become president. Many students are surprised by that. The first qualification is a president must be a native-born U.S. citizen. That means a citizen by birth. Okay, that means a person must be born in the United States or a territory of the United States, Puerto Rico, for example. All right, so if a person is a naturalized U.S. citizen, all right, they cannot become president. The second qualification is a person must be at least 35 years old. And the third qualification is a person must be a resident for at least 14 years. So if a person is born here, a native-born U.S. citizen, and decides to move out of the country, they can come back, and as long as they are a resident here, meaning living here for at least 14 years, they are eligible to become president. Where are these things located? How do we know this to be the case? As with most things about the U.S. government, they are listed in the U.S. Constitution, specifically in Article 2 of the Constitution, which describes the powers and the functions of the executive branch. And for any of these qualifications to change, there would have to be a constitutional amendment. That's a change to the Constitution. Today we have had 27 amendments, 27 changes. All right. One of which we're going to be talking about here in a minute when we talk about the terms. So let's go on to that. Most of you probably know that one presidential term is 4 years. Now, presidents today can be elected for up to 2 terms. All right, 2 full terms would equal 8 years. Now, it is possible for a president to be, even today, in office for more than 8 years. This nearly happened with Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was vice president under John F. Kennedy. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, and according to the presidential roles of succession, the vice president becomes president. So he completed Kennedy's term and then was elected for the first time in 1964. He originally ran for president in 1968, but ended up dropping out of the race. But if he was elected and would have completed his second term, he would have been in office for more than 8 years. But the key here is you can only be elected to 2 terms. This was not originally stated in the Constitution. It took a constitutional amendment to actually get this to become official. The 22nd Amendment, which was passed by Congress in 1947 and then officially ratified by the states in 1951, set a 2-term limit for president. Our first president, George Washington, set this precedent. All right, he thought it would be a bad idea for presidents to serve any more than 2 terms. He wanted to differentiate our country from Great Britain, who we declared our independence from. He didn't want our country looking like a monarchy or some form of dictatorship. All right, so he only ran for 2 terms. He probably could have been elected to more, but he decided not to. Every other president followed that precedent set by Washington until Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected to a 3rd and then a 4th term. He was originally elected in 1932, 1936. He broke the precedent in 1940 and then was elected to a 4th term in 1944 and then died in office shortly thereafter. That means, as many of you know, that we will have a new president in 2016 because President Obama will no longer be eligible to run for president. That concludes today's lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.